In the West Valley, we're getting new details from police.
School board delays a vote on an outside investigation into two former teachers accused of sexual misconduct, why some members say they need to wait.
Winning, yes, yes, we're gonna win. We're going all the way. I love it. That's right, that's right. You heard it here first. Big predictions coming from Big Red himself as we gear up for an exciting day number 2 of the NFL Draft. And that's not the only thing Big Red's predicting. We're diving deeper into the Cards playbook.
Oh, I love that, and the energy, too. Thank you so much for being with us here on a Friday. I'm Kaylee O'Kelly.
And I'm Nick Saletti.
ABC 15 bringing you breaking news from overnight fire crews from several Valley cities, all converging on an apartment in Mesa.
We're now learning multiple people are out of their homes right now. Officials updating this as a first alarm fire. ABC 15's Adam Mincer joining us live from the scene right now. Adam, you've been there for more than an hour now. You've been able to listen to some folks here. What are you finding out?
Good morning, Nick and Kaylee. Actually, I just felt a gust of wind, and with that brought that smell of a fire, that kind of plastic burnt smell still lingering in the air. This fire broke out, according to Mesa Fire, around 2 a.m. We know that 10 people cannot go back to their homes as a result of this fire. Police are still here on the scene, as well as fire. They have been out here since that that first alarm fire happened at around 2 a.m. There was smoke when our crews got here, billowing from the top of the roof of that building. As you were saying, Nick, I did speak to somebody who was in one of those apartments right next to the ones that got destroyed by the fire. This is how he described that wake-up call at 2 a.m.
They're like, fire's happening down the block, something's going on, blah, blah, blah. So I throw my clothes on, throw my shoes on, and I step out of my apartment, lock it behind me, and I'm just watching everything unfold.
Gabriel actually just told me that he moved here just a few weeks ago. His other apartment complex in Mesa, there was an oven fire, he said, that made him have to move and relocate. So we're going to be staying on the scene trying to figure out exactly what led up to this fire. But again, the good news we can report is that there is no deaths, no firefighters or civilians injured. 10 people, though, unfortunately, without a home to go back to today. We'll stay out live on the scene. But for right now, Adam Mincer, ABC 15, Arizona.
Yeah, that's tough for Gabe. And, of course, all those other people. But, Adam, you mentioned it. We are so lucky that this was not any worse than this and that everybody was able to walk away.
Especially with so many people there, Adam. Thank you. We do have some more breaking news to get to. This is in Mesa, another fire. This one near Higley and University, as we show you these images here. Not very many details being released just yet. But as we take a closer look, you can see this one appears to have been in the garage of a home. And we will bring you more details as they do come into the ABC 15 newsroom.
6:02 here on a Friday as we take you live outside of beautiful sunrise here over the mountains as we wake you up and get that weekend started.
And if you have time here on a Friday, it could be a good one to just sit out on the patio and sip on a nice hot cup of coffee. In fact, is that what our Jorge Torres is doing out on the patio? I know you're enjoying the weather, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't have the cup of coffee with me, though. I do have my iPad, my tablet, helping me track the forecast.
Close up to that.
Yeah, close enough to that. But it is a nice morning for it because temperatures are on the cooler side here in the valley. Generally in the upper 50s and lower 60s now. The sun is rising. Temperatures will climb. But right now in Sky Harbor, temperatures are at 64 degrees under mostly clear skies. And elsewhere across the state, below freezing up in the high country. Areas like the south rim of the Grand Canyon, Flagstaff, Window Rock, all in the low to mid 20s. Meanwhile, farther to the south, in Prescott, Payson, and Sedona, we are tracking temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 40s with 50s and 60s across the lower deserts. For those of you perhaps enjoying a cup of coffee now, but getting ready to perhaps cycle across the valley today. Temperatures are going to be in the 60s this morning until about 9 o'clock or so. Then we climb into the 90s later on today. But we do have some changes for the weekend. We're talking wind, cooler temperatures, and even a chance of rain for some of you. We'll show you exactly where coming up in your Valley Planner Plus.
All right, Jorge, we know you're tracking all that for us. 6:04, ABC 15 following up this morning on that shooting at a construction site just walking distance from State Farm Stadium. We know one person is in critical condition this morning. I was at the stadium covering the Cardinals draft party when we found out about all of this. So it happened near 91st Avenue and Cardinals Way. When photojournalist Chad Cromwell and I arrived at the scene, we could see those first responders there trying to revive someone. We later found out that person had been shot. Glendale police say 2 construction workers got into a fight. Things heated up, and one of the workers shot the other one. Some people have been asking us why the construction worker was armed in the first place. So here's what police said.
It's Arizona. You're allowed to be armed. I know that it probably is a lot based off of company policies. There's probably a lot of companies that either allow it or don't if you're working on their job site. And obviously they can control that if you're their employee and they don't want you to carry. That's their right to refuse kind of that situation.
Right now, Glendale police say they are still trying to figure out what led up to the shooting. We're told the shooter was the one who actually caught police. We know police questioned him for quite some time Thursday. Count on us to follow up. Our team at ABC 15 checking back in this morning with Peoria officials on the sexual misconduct allegations in the Peoria Unified School District. We've learned the governing board is going to hold off now on hiring an outside investigator to look into these accusations.
The board voting 3-2, choosing to table that discussion. They want to wait to hear more from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. Police recommended charges against former Centennial High School educators Angela Berlocka and Haley Beck. Both accused of sexual misconduct with the same teenage student. A criminal defense attorney says outside investigators are often used as a precaution.
So in this situation, having a third-party investigator come in and confirm that the school did nothing wrong is the school covering its bases and making sure that it is okay from a liability standpoint.
Now, we do want to point out neither women have been formally charged here. The Peoria Police Department resubmitted charges earlier this month, and the Maricopa County Attorney's Office tells ABC 15 they are still reviewing this case.
It is 6:06. An accused murderer in a high-profile case telling ABC 15 he plans to change his plea to guilty today in court. Adam Schief is charged in the death of a beloved New River pastor, Bill Shaneman. Schief telling ABC 15 in a jailhouse interview that he had a cross-country plan to murder more than a dozen priests and pastors. Schief is now representing himself in court, and last month he told a judge he wants to speed up the process. We spoke with a former prosecutor and current defense attorney who explained what happens next.
Explain the process of what actually has to take place to change a plea, because it's a lot.
So Mr. Schief wanted to plead guilty during the last hearing, but the way capital cases work is that the statutes and the criminal procedure really slows down the cases because they want to make sure that they get it right.
And here's the message that Schief sent to ABC 15's Ashley Holden from jail just a couple of days ago, saying he wants to plead guilty. Schief has said publicly he wants to be put to death for his crimes, and we will have a special live episode of our streaming series Arizona Crime Uncovered this afternoon. We will be explaining everything that happens in court. You'll want to look for all the information. It's up on our website at abc15.com. Turning now to our Border Watch, crews are building a new secondary border wall in the desert. More than 13 miles have been constructed since January. That project is funded by the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, and the law set aside more than $40 billion for new fencing and technology. Plans call for doubling up more than 60 miles of the wall. Customs and Border Protection say the extra barrier will push crossings towards ports of entry. Well, we do want to take a look at that morning ride this morning here on a Friday, and some spots are kind of backed up, Nick.
Yeah, Kaylee, already getting busy here on a Friday. So much for Friday Light. 6:08 here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the maps. We are seeing quite a few crashes pop up, especially for my friends in the west part of town and in the West Valley along the I-10. I know not what anybody wants to hear, but there is that crash that they're still working to clear. In the eastbound lanes of the I-10 near 51st Avenue, they did clear the one that was farther west. That's good. But here's what that crash looks like at 51st Avenue. You can see it is definitely a little bit slower. We see the tow truck is on scene, so that's some good news. We know those crews are making progress, but we have that right-hand lane, that far right-hand lane is backed up right now. The other lanes are getting by, but just kind of crawling by. Westbound looking a little bit better. We'll take a closer look at how all of this is impacting your desert drive times coming up in just about 15 minutes, Kaylee.
All right, 6:09 on this Friday morning. We turn now to an ABC 15 Impact Earth report. The Arizona Sustainability Alliance is working to make the city of Phoenix more environmentally friendly. Volunteers are going to be at Kuban Smith Park there for a tree planting. It's happening this afternoon. And this is meant to help address urban heat issues, expand tree equity, and promote climate resilience. That group planning to plant 4 dozen trees. It's going to look beautiful out there once it's all said and done. Add to the beauty anyway already in place, and it starts in less than an hour at 7 a.m. It's going to go until 11:30.
609, love is in the air, and hopefully making some future visits to the end zone.
Oh, we know what's going to happen. The rumors, they had been swirling, and they were finally confirmed as the Arizona Cardinals make a splash in last night's NFL draft, selecting running back Jeremiah Love. The Notre Dame star rushed for more than 1,300 yards and 18 TDs last season alone. He has won the Doak Walker Award, given out to the best running back in the nation every single year.
Yeah, he's really good at that fake out, which I think is going to be really exciting to see. Stick around because I'll take a closer look at the team selection and what Big Red had to say about it. Yeah, we're going one-on-one coming up in our next half hour.
Now we just need to build that offensive line. It's going to happen today. By the way, students across, or I should say at Tres Rios Service Academy, are trading in their textbooks for a glimpse of the future. The school hosting its annual field day with a twist. They're going to be bringing in pros from several career paths to talk to kiddos about opportunities to start planning ahead. It will include the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, firefighters, doctors, farmers, so many more. It's all happening from 9 to 11 o'clock this morning. Also, a local program is helping young offenders stay out of prison. The Juvenile Transfer Offender Program, or JTOP, is hosting a resource fair that's happening from 10 a.m. to noon there at the Maricopa County Superior Court in Phoenix. The event will connect participants between the ages of 16 and 25 with resources to set them up for the future. And the goal is to help them complete probation and then transition into a successful life. It is 6:11, and up next here on ABC 15 Mornings, doubt beginning to surface when it comes to the integrity of the current ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran. We're taking a closer look this morning at how close the deal may be to possibly coming apart straight ahead.
We're also talking about that weather, and we're looking pretty good outside, feeling a little bit cool, so maybe bring a jacket.
Yeah, but layers, because we're going to be going from the 60s this morning in the valley to the 90s.
Woo.
Later on this afternoon, temperatures roughly about 4 to 5 degrees above average. And then we cool things down for the weekend. We're talking about our next storm on the way, coming up in your Valley Planner Plus.